I'll take this moment to thank Pfizer, who is our conversation sponsor. Please. And I'm excited to talk about this film. This film premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival, and it's really one of the most important film festivals in the world. How was the reaction there?
I didn't get to go to that film festival, unfortunately. This is the first time that I watch it on the big screen and watch the final cut. So yeah, it's a lot of emotions. A lot of the people in the film are my friends from El Paso, Texas. So there are a lot of things that I was remembering in making the film that were really funny.
I'm curious about the process of making the film. I know you're not a professionally trained actress, but did a fantastic job. How did you get connected to this film?
I was hanging out at a bar in El Paso eating, and I was approached and offered to audition. And initially, my reaction was I wasn't really interested. I've never had any acting experience, and I was never interested in theater or anything like that. And what convinced me was the girl who offered me to audition said, all you have to do is be yourself and you'll get paid. So I thought that's easy enough. I'm always myself. And it made me feel like I had nothing to lose anyway. So, but apparently they really liked me being myself and reacting to little situations that they put me in and for the audition, and I got the part.
That's amazing. And how long was this a big production? Was it done very intimately? How long did this whole process take?
It was really fast. The production is like an independent film, obviously. It was kind of low budget, but it was still really good. It took about 2.5 to 3 months to make. And we filmed in El Paso, in Texas, in El Paso, in New Mexico, in Ciudad Juarez, which is right across the border. And in where we're at the beach, it's a water park, a hot spring in Hidalgo, Mexico.
Yeah. Nice. And how connected? First of all, of course, the kid who plays Tom is fantastic.
Yeah, he's an actor.
He's an actor. He's a professional actor. I mean, for him, both he's going also through his changes that he goes through. I mean, he was really fantastic. Was it very scripted, or was it kind of like, here's the scene and
a lot of things are scripted? Okay, so the director's wife, she wrote the book, right? And then she also did the screenplay or the screenwriting, and so a lot of the things were changed. Rodrigo, he wanted to make it sound like very original, very like our way of speaking Spanish in El Paso. It's very unique. It's called Chicano, and very like Cholo Mexican style. And so there are a lot of things that I worked on with him, and in terms of changing the dialogue. And but a lot of things were also improvised, like the scene where me and my son are playing around when we're at his dad's. That was improvised. Me and him were just kind of messing around, like offset, or like when we weren't rolling, the cameras weren't rolling, and then the director, he's like, hey, let's film them doing this, and then he's like, okay, do it again, but we're gonna throw this in there. There are a lot of things that were improvised. Tom, his name's Israel, and he's a natural. Like the part where he's Dr. Scholl with the feet, he improvised that all on his own. His reactions to like having the cast taken off, all of that is original. He was so scared they thought they were gonna cut him. Yeah.
It's a great moment. I have to admit that first of all, I have ADHD and a learning disability, and so does my son. I felt very connected
Really,
to this film on that level too. And I wanted to know as far as the why was that an important part of the story? Why do they need to put that in there?
I know that I think I remember at first they didn't want to specify what Tom's diagnosis was, and then they decided to add that in there. But it's Rodrigo's wife, Laura. She just was really moved by. I think she had heard something about somebody going through something similar, and so she really wanted to like send out this message through the movie, which is really beautiful. I think that's another reason why why I went ahead and went with the part, because I really like the message of the movie.
What do you see as the message of the movie?
For I guess just for parents to really, pay attention to their kids. Obviously, in the movie, Tom, he's so obsessed with the image of his absent father, and his mother. She's just working so hard to raise him, and doesn't really pay attention to what he truly needs, and it's just her attention. And Tom also realizes, that his dad's not all that what he thought he would be, so yeah.
I have one more question, then I'm happy to take some questions from the audience. But there's that moment where your character drives back to the camp and takes him out of camp. Why did she make that change?
She realizes that, I guess she's going through like some guilt. She felt like she's just doing what she's being told to do again, by the system. And she follows her heart and keeps her promise to her son, so he could see for himself, who his dad is. Not that his dad's a bad dad, but he thinks his dad's like this awesome surfer and stuff, and he just works at a water park. Yeah, so I think it's real sweet that she goes back.
It's really amazing. It's such a complex character. I mean, the mom with just like everything that she has going on, and yet it's also so real. And I mean, for a mom to say that that I just feel it is kind of one of the most important things that one can say, and yet it's something that in modern society, modern Western society, I think sometimes that's not acceptable. You can't just feel something. That's you need more than that. Thank you. Any questions, comments from the audience? I know we have audiences virtually too. Yes, Car, please. Can I give you a mic?
Let me tell you something. Did you show your anger? Your first role you've played, right?
I guess I'm good at being angry.
Man, you hated everybody, though. I didn't like you. Because I felt you had no patience.
Yeah.
You really didn't understand. Because one part when the art teacher said, look what he did, you couldn't afford the school or whatever, the instructor. But you didn't carry that out. I felt you didn't even try, to sit down with him and say, let me see what you can do.
Yeah.
So that bothered me.
Yeah. And I think all of that, like, toward the end, kind of like I said, Elena was feeling guilty, probably reflecting on all of those things. And she ultimately decided to go back and give her son what he wants, make it about him for once. Yeah. And the times like I was getting mad when we were doing the scene with the teacher. Man, that was a really lengthy one. I remember it was becoming exhausting having to get mad over and over again. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, Elena, she was really selfish. She's a really selfish mom throughout the movie until the end. Mm-hmm.
but Elena's character is very imperfect, and yet has a very true love for her son, and I think it plays out very very beautifully and very humanly.
Nonetheless, yeah. I'm also a mother. I'm a single mother of 3 children. So there's a lot that I could relate to in my reaction and like being protective. I'm a very protective mother. So I could totally relate with Elena's character in that sense. Mm-hmm.
We have more. Let me pass around the mic.
I was going to ask, did you know much about ADHD or about the disability community before you did the film? And if not, what have you learned since?
Not really. I hadn't done any like extensive research or anything like that. I've only had an experience with 2 of my family members, 2 of my cousins, particularly one who lived with my grandmother who had to take medication for his ADHD. And I remember him saying that it made him feel weird and him getting upset with my grandmother for making him take his medication. But other than that, no. Yeah, but I could totally, when I read the book and then I read the script and I found out what the movie was about, I definitely thought about my cousin and remembered those times where he didn't want to take his medication and he would even cry because it made him feel so bad. Mm-hmm.
We have a question over here.
Maybe I was just going to ask a little bit about the actor Tommy. Did he actually have ADHD, or did he might have had it when he was young, or did he have any other
The actor?
Yeah.
Israel? No, he doesn't. He's actually a really, really smart kid. He is homeschooled, and his parents homeschool him, and he's, I believe now there are like 5 of them. And yeah, no, he doesn't really have ADHD, but he's a really, really smart kid. He loves doing theater, and he's a real actor. Yeah. He did really well.
There's my final question to you is there's that moment where you talk about the other Tom, which got the title of the film.
Yeah.
What's for you is the other Tom?
For me, the other Tom is when he says it. You mean in that scene? Yeah, the other Tom on the pills.
Yeah.
There is no other Tom, is what she tells him. The other Tom, he's talking about the other Tom on the pills, the one that everyone wants him to be just quiet and not be so disruptive the way he is. And for me, the other Tom is the real original Tom, yeah, who he really is. Yeah, I think it is like that in school, you know? Like, teachers have to deal with so many students at once. They just all want them to be obedient and kind of they're pressured to have everything run smoothly. So it's unfair to children who can't abide by those rules. Yeah.
Yeah, we often try to fit people into our boxes, and not every kid and not every human fits into the same box.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
What's next for you? Are you planning on acting again?
I hope so. I'm waiting for the opportunity to arise. I have to get with Buenaventura Productions and talk to an agent, one of their agents. I'd like to act again. It was fun.
You were fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you all so much for being here. We've got till Wednesday with the festival. Keep joining us and help spread the word. Thank you all, and have a good night. Stay safe.
Thank you all, and thank you for having me again.